Thank you for joining me on this week's episode of Mustangs BP. Last week we talked about a pitcher's velocity, and this week we're going to see what kind of collision happens when a bat hits the ball. We need to get down to the batting cages to check this out, so I'll see you there. Wow, what a hit. Let's take a look at this swing and this hit a little more closely. Let's look at it at 50% speed. Wow, did you see that ball hitting that bat? Maybe not. So let's slow it down just a little more. Let's go down to 25%. Yeah, that's more like it. Now you can really see this ball hitting the bat. Now let's talk about this. Wow, that was a rip, wasn't it? But why does it do that? Well, in physics, there are two types of collisions. There's elastic and inelastic collisions. The one that you just saw with the ball hitting the bat and the ball going in the other direction, that's elastic collision. What's happening is when the ball comes into the strike zone and the batter swings around with the bat, when the ball hits the bat, there's a transfer of energy. So that way, instead of the ball keep going back to the catcher, the ball is then projected outward. Again, this is what we call an elastic collision. There can be many levels of this elastic collision. For example, when you hit the ball, you can either hit a ground ball, you can hit a fly ball, or you could even hit one solid line drive. The difference here is the amount of force and the amount of the surface area of the collision. When you hit a ground ball, the surface area that you have hit the ball is lesser. Therefore, there's not a lot of energy transfer. And what that does is it makes the ball move slower. And it's the same concept when you hit a fly ball. The only difference is one is on the ground and one is in the air. But when you hit with that baseball in that sweet spot like you just saw, that's when the ball really flies, because you have full surface contact from the bat to the ball, and then you get results. Thank you for joining me in this week's episode of Mustangs BP. I hope you learned a lot about collisions in physics, and join with me next week when we talk about the other aspects of hitting. Hope you go out and practice, and see you next week.